Okay, this is Pops at Legal Reform. Uh, some people, 379 videos. Wow, I talk a lot. But anyways, legal reform is nothing but advising you on your legal rights, your constitutional rights, the constitutional duties of all your public servants. Remember, violating the oath is deprivation of rights. They took the oath to serve and protect your constitutional rights. Okay, so not living up to the oath is deprivation of rights. Okay, so I mentioned that in ethics violations, media, and the penalties for violating. Okay, informed consent. Inform yourself about informed consent, which is a legal requirement in every court of law. Okay, the right to be heard. I was denied that, and so will you, unless you read the Code of Judicial Conduct, which is what I went over with you. Reading what's necessary before eviction court, and that was me going over the rules of professional conduct, giving context to my content on deprivation of rights. You're all suffering from deprivation of rights if you don't know any of this. Okay, going to eviction court, explaining what I read on the internet. I had some Looney Tunes tell me I need a lawyer to explain the law to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. When I just read the law in all my videos, I read the law to you. Sometimes in my videos are comments people make to you, and I send them the laws. An ineffective assistance to counsel IAC motion. Okay, you want to look that up because that's specifically on your attorney. And it's easy to get any attorney for deprivation of rights simply because they didn't discuss the legal obligations of lawyers and judges in a court of law, the rules of professional conduct, the code of judicial conduct. When informed consent is required, it would be competent to divulge what is mandatory in disclosure. Okay, getting them to live up to the oath. Oh, divulge is a legal term meaning to expose something not yet known to you. Okay, so all this is not known to you. Getting to live up to the oath and fulfill the requirements. Petition for writ of certiorari, formal complaint to the U.S. Supreme Court, and I have something I want to use against them, and it's basically work in every court. Penalties for lawyers lying, that's called disinformation, which is illegal. Okay, lawyers cannot lie to you. They cannot lie to anybody. It says so in the rules of professional conduct, in the preamble. Whether in their personal life or in their professional life. It's lying, that's disinformation. If you read the preamble, it kind of sounds like, you're supposed to be a Boy Scout. If I was going to be a Boy Scout when I was a kid, but I changed my mind on that. Fighting an eviction just got harder. I was trying to explain to people. It used to be easier, but the last time I was in eviction court, I got on my little soapbox because people were asking me, how'd I get a 90-day, because the judge yelled at me. Oh, you think I'm going to who put in for 90 days? That's ridiculous. The most I ever gave is 21 days. See if I give you that. And then the clerk kept trying to warn him, with his snotty attitude, which is forbidden by the Code of Judicial Conduct. She warned him that I asked for a jury trial, and that's when he told me, the difficulties with a jury trial. So I've done this before. I've been here before. And the lawyer jumped on the phone, called the landlord, and they had to remove the eviction notice. I was being evicted because I was moving. Landlord wanted me to make some more home repairs so she could remodel and couldn't sell it as is. So they had to fix the place up, and I wasn't paid for it. Granted, I am handicapped. It took me forever to do it. They complained, but cost me money, and I wasn't reimbursed. It put me in a very bad situation, and that's because of a wrongful eviction, and then the judge denying me my right to be heard, which cost me thousands of dollars. A wrongful conviction compensation. Okay, that's me leading you to where if you are have your wrongful conviction overturned, there's compensation for that, and if you sue and win, then you got to pay back that money. But who gives a shit? The Sixth Amendment, effective assistance of counsel. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining to you what effective assistance of counsel is, and that's not happening. So that's deprivation of rights. Ineffective assistance of counsel, IAC motion brought that up again. People ask me some of the same questions, but in different ways, and I have the same answer, but sometimes I have to do it from a different perspective. Not every court is the same, so there's different rules and laws you'll be using in every court, and that's what I'm pointing out. I've been in a lot of different courts helping people. I used to go to Cook County courts and Cook County Jail, 2016 California. Had a lot of public defenders get mad at me. State's attorneys that used to sit back and laugh, and judges that totally ignored everything I was bringing up. And it wasn't for me. It was for people I didn't even know. I dedicated a long time to doing this to try to get people to just to live up to the oath. And if they aren't living up to the oath, they aren't living up to the legal obligations of that oath. For lawyers, they took the oath, right, as lawyers, and their legal obligations are stated in the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct, okay? When someone tries explaining the law, I had somebody try to explain the law to me, told me it didn't mean what I thought it meant, but I was just reading it word for word to the letter. And letter of the law requires that, so it's like, no, I don't need a lawyer to explain it to me. All I need is the letter of the law. The letter of the law suits quite well for me. And in one of my videos, I went over with you penalties for violating the letter of the law. Propaganda laws, citizens' legal duties, how to present myself in eviction court, fighting a slap suit, which is basically a slap suit is where they have no evidence. Somebody's just, most of all, slap suits are just where they push you to get a lawyer, and then your lawyer is not going to say, hey, they can't do this. They're going to go back and forth for a while, and that's going to cost a lot of money. But if you knew the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct, you would know that they can't come to court with something they can't prove. And the judge is supposed to look into this. Is this a viable case? And then the lawyer can't bring forth anything he can't prove, but they'll do it anyways because they know the opposing party, the lawyer you hire, isn't going to give away that free cash to come and argue this in court. I seen that happen with Lynn, what was that? Those Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell. They went to court with stuff they couldn't prove. It was just, that was a total waste of taxpayer money. And I tried a couple times. I'm going to start trying again to push for public servants to have legal malpractice insurance to take the weight off the taxpayer, because that money could be better spent towards infrastructure, health care, the public interest needs, what's doing best for the public. Fee waiver also covers jury requests. I put in fee waivers so I don't have to spare me the court costs because I'm on SSDI, and even if I wasn't, that would put a heavy weight, as a layman, average Joe, that would put a heavy weight, heavy burden on my financials. And covers jury requests. And before, all I had, when I first went to eviction court, or before this one, the last one was 9 years ago, and I went to court for the appearance. I got the notice. I went, filed for the appearance, put in for a fee waiver, and it said jury trial or bench trial. I put jury trial because I know no way in hell is that judge ever going to abide by the code of judicial conduct or the rules of professional conduct. And then when I picked the jury, I was going to go over the rules and the codes with the jury so they would know that how these lawyers and judges are going to try and cheat me. So, it's if you know the law, It's easy to manipulate them when they're trying to manipulate you. Uh, File a motion to quash. That's an easy one. You can file a motion to quash based on ineffective assistance counsel, um, judicial misconduct, in a criminal case, prosecutorial misconduct, or the opposing party violating, the rule of professional conduct. But filing a motion to quash, you're not just going to, when you mention effective assistance counsel, first you're going to have to attack them for everything they didn't do in the rules of professional conduct. And that's an automatic win. You don't need evidence. You don't need exculpatory evidence. If they did not fulfill their constitutional duties, that's ineffective assistance of counsel. And the only way your assistance of counsel can be defective and destructive is because the judge and the opposing party aren't holding them to their constitutional duties, because that's misconduct. And in the rules and the codes, it's mandatory to report misconduct, and failure to report misconduct is misconduct, which leads to conspiracy against rights under the color of law. They were just all covering up for each other by not playing by the rules or the codes. Legal profession mandate to regulate itself. They don't regulate themselves. Fighting a wrongful eviction. Let's talk about legal harassment. Somebody asked me at the library, because had to send myself some stuff, and anyways, young man, I was talking to him about this, and he said, "So what do you do? Just look this up on the internet?" I said, "Well, yeah." "Oh, so you're just finding out?" "No, I've known this for years." And so if you look, this conspiracy against rights under the color of law leads to a conspiracy to commit murder. I told a lawyer, F you, F the judge, F the state's attorney. Reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. He ran out, told the judge, and shortly later the sheriffs came, escorted me to the elevator, took me down to the tunnels, which I call the tombs, to walk me back to Cook County Jail. I thought I was going to die there, but they waited till got to Cook County Jail and left me for dead. Beat the life out of me. But that's a hospital report from Cermak Hospital, which is a hospital inside Cook County Jail. That was from the 90s, early 90s. The oath and the code of judicial conduct, like I said, failure to live up to the oath is deprivation of rights, because the judge that took the oath to abide by it and enforce the code of judicial conduct as well as the rules of professional conduct, and they don't do that. It clearly states in the code of judicial conduct, if a judge knows of a lawyer's dishonesty, they're to report them in Illinois to the Illinois Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, but they won't and they don't. Penalties for violating interest or of justice, interest of justice act. So, I like to read. I started when I first read the Constitution. That took me to the Declaration of Independence, Magna Carta. That took me. I wanted to know what democracy was, because there was all this talk about democracy. So I researched that, and man, that took me way back to Greece. Ill-gotten gains, anything they earned by doing what they did to you is ill-gotten gains. So you might want to look at that so you can recoup what you lost. Ethic violations have penalties. So remember, violating the rules, the codes, those are ethic violations. So you can put an ethic violation. Just look up penalties or ethics violations complaint form. Just put that in. And so you want to use that. Not in the public interest. That's a term I used quite often to shut lawyers down when they would say something ridiculous. And I say, not in the public interest. All laws created are meant to be in the public interest. Okay. And there are a lot of laws that aren't. Like those tax codes you all been complaining about. How is that in the public interest? No, it's not. It's in corporate interest. So and then I told you about corporacy, in the interest of justice, motion to reduce alimony. Somebody was talking to me about their alimony and how the opposing party wanted to raise it, but she made more money and had the house. And I said, seriously, put in for a reduction of alimony, and if you go over the video, it's quite simple. Penalties for disinformation in the media. And you know that never happens. There's all kinds of disinformation on the media. I'm not just talking about mainstream. I'm talking about the internet as well. There's penalties for disinformation with these people, these streamers or whatever. You know, when they make up stories and confronting the Illinois Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission. They're a bunch of wackadoos. The ARDC. I filed complaints with them in the 80s. The last time was in the 90s. I never got an answer. I got yelled at going there. Them telling me they don't work for me. They work for the government. Same thing with the clerk's office. Every public servant out there, every time I confronted them, they told me they don't work for me. They work for the government, which is a violation of the oath they took. Now, they say they didn't, let people work there say they didn't take the oath, but whoever runs that department, they take the oath, and that oath is supposed to trickle down to everybody in the agency. Like the FBI director takes the oath, Department of Justice director takes the oath, and that oath is, those legal obligations trickle down to everybody in that institution. Disclosure law, so you should look that up. That's what I'm doing, disclosing to you, divulging to you things not yet known to you. Color of law by definition, color of law complaint form or complaint. That's what you're dealing with. You're living under the color of law, giving unlawful orders. Nobody can give unlawful orders. It's actually illegal to give unlawful orders, just as it's illegal to take unlawful orders. If you know the law, the orders are unlawful, and you can ask the Judge Advocate General's office. They should be out there, because the military is legally obligated not to follow unlawful orders, and that's as well as the public too. Penalties for violating the oath of public service, living under the color of laws, which I already explained. It's about how many laws. I amended my conspiracy against rights to complain, which I amended it again. It's the Sixth Amendment, effective assistance of counsel, ethical, yes or no, under the color of law by definition. The legal obligations to treat someone as innocent until proven guilty, and that doesn't happen. Okay, legal obligations to act in the public interest. And I get more attention on my shorts. But this one.
Every man has a space. In his heart there's a place. And the world can erase his fantasies. Take a ride in the sky. On our shell fantasize. All our dreams will come true right away. And we will live together until the 12th of never. Our voices will ring forever as one.
About time we start acting as one, my people. We the people, nothing but peace and love. I wish you a long life and good health. May your Creator always be with you and rain many blessings. Many blessings, my friend.
There's some
blessings.
motherfuckers out there that dislike you for absolutely no reason at all. Fuck them.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. All the way up.
There There's some motherfuckers out there that dislike you for absolutely no reason at all.